Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a step-by-step Pipedrive tutorial. Pipedrive is one of the best CRMs on the market right now, and in this video I will be showing you everything that you need to know about Pipedrive. We will be taking a look at how you can add and manage contacts, how you can navigate this deal section to stay up to date with your pipeline, how you can even use Pipedrive as a project management tool, how you can manage your email inside of Pipedrive, and much more. Now, the first thing that we need to do is actually go ahead and set up a Pipedrive account. If you do not yet have an account and you would like to sign up for a free Pipedrive trial, you can do so using the first link down in the description. Once you click on that link, you will be taken over to this page right here. And this is where we can go ahead and claim the free trial for Pipedrive. So just go ahead and click on try it for free. And then we can either sign up with an email or by Google down here at the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and do this with Google. So we can go ahead and sign up. And right here, it's now going to ask for a name, a password, and a phone number. From here, we can then go down and agree to the terms of service and click on next. It will then ask us a few more questions, so let's just go ahead and fill all of this in. And once we have entered that information, we can go ahead and create our account. Just like this, we now have our Pipedrive account, and this right here is the Pipedrive dashboard. So first of all, I'm going to explain the Pipedrive dashboard and how all of this works, and then we will take a deeper dive into each of these individual sections. So by default, the first screen you will be taken into is this leads screen right here. We have the leads inbox where we can go ahead and add leads. And then over on this left-hand side, this is the main navigation menu where we can navigate around the Pipedrive software. So over here, we have deals. We then have projects, campaigns, sales inbox, activities, contacts, insight, product, marketplace, and more. Let's just go back to the main leads right here. In the top right corner, this is where you can access your account and all of the preferences. You can access your billing information, manage users on your account, access personal preferences, and everything like that. So let's first of all dive into the leads section. This is where we can go ahead and add in our first leads, or we can also use this Leadbooster. Now, the Leadbooster is an add-on, so you do have to pay extra for this. But if we click into this, this is effectively a prospecting tool within Pipedrive. And if we take a look here, we can see they claim to have generated 2.4 million leads. I think this is $15 billion in revenue, which is absolutely crazy. And then inside of this, we get live chat. We get a prospector where we can go ahead and find different profiles, reveal their contact data. We also get access to this chatbot and web forms. So that is an add-on. It is a little bit more advanced, and I will not be covering the Leadbooster in this video. However, we can also go ahead and add existing leads into our Pipedrive CRM. Now we have two different options here. The first is we can import from a spreadsheet. So this is if you already have a lot of leads from maybe a different CRM software and you are moving over. All you have to do is export your data from that other CRM into a spreadsheet. And then we can click into here, upload the spreadsheet, and import all of those contacts. Alternatively, we can go ahead and add new leads right here. So let's just call this person James Smith, just like that. Then we can go for an organization. Let's say this person works at Google. Then we can add Google as an organization. For the title of this lead, we will call this, let's call this James Smith. The potential value, so you can add this here. Any labels, if this is a warm, hot, or cold lead, we can add this in right here. We can also add different owners. So in Pipedrive, you can, of course, add team members into your CRM. I will show you how to do that later, but we can click into this owner section and select the lead owner or which team member this lead is tied to. We can also add an expected close date, the visibility of this, so we can go all users, specifically for the item owner, everybody, we can add this right there. And then we can also add a phone number and an email to this contact. Once the contact is created, we can hit save. And just like that, we now have the contact that is going to show up right here. So we can go ahead and potentially add more leads. You can add as many leads as you like into this leads inbox. And then we can click into any of these sections right here. This is going to take us over to the main dashboard where we can go ahead and make changes. In this section, we can also add notes. So I can maybe say something like James is likely to close this week. Just add a note in here and then we can click on save. And just like that, this note is going to be added. Any other notes that you and your team members add in here are also going to show. We can then go into activity and we can add different activities. So let's say that I want to call James tomorrow. I can say call in here, set this to tomorrow. And then let's say I want to call him at 10 a.m. We can put that in there. And just like that, this call is going to show up. We can also add a note. Once again, play around with these settings down here, like the lead owner, the actual lead, and everything like that. We can hit save and that is going to be added in. So I have call tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then once this task has been complete, I can mark as done. And just like that, this task is complete. We can also go over to email right here. This is going to allow us to sync emails from any major provider. And this is going to allow us to actually read and reply to emails inside of Pipedrive. We can also see when the email has been opened and any clicks from within, use different templates and set up automated workflows. So to actually go into this email, we just click add new account. You can then connect up your email right here. We can click continue. And then in this to section, because I have not yet added an email for James, this is going to be blank. But if James' email was here, then I could go into subject, start typing out this email, click send, and that is going to send an email to this contact. We can also see, because I have linked my email, we have sales inbox right here, and I now have 7 notifications. This is going to show me all of the emails that are currently coming in to my email inbox. So once again, a super handy tool here when you sync up your email. That is going to allow you to view all of your received emails rather than having to go into your email as a separate application. Once again, we can send emails from inside of this by clicking on new email, typing out who we want to send this to, the subject, and then just creating a regular email. Next, let's go into this deals section on this left-hand side. And this is where we can manage deals through a Kanban chart. So in here, we can add a deal. And let's say that once again, this is with James. And then James is going to pop up because we have already added this contact. If we want to create a completely new deal, let's say this is with Kelly Jacobs, we can add this in right here. It's going to ask if we want to create a new contact with this person. And let's say this person works at Microsoft. We can then add the value of this deal. So let's say 10,000 and then change this to the US dollar. We can also add labels for organization. And this is going to allow you to filter by certain labels when you have like a really stacked chart in here. As soon as you start having a lot of deals, this label function becomes super helpful. So in here, I can maybe add a label and say this is like a YouTube lead that came from YouTube. And then we can have a different label that is like Instagram, Facebook lead, all of different things like that. So we can save this and add this as a YouTube lead. Once again, expected close date, the phone number and the email for this contact. And then we can click on save. Just like that, this lead is going to show up on the Kanban chart and we can move this along as this deal progresses throughout all of these different categories. So right now we have lead in, contact made, property evaluated, property listed. And the reason that these sections are titled like this is because when I was setting up my account, I said my business is in the real estate niche. So if you want to change these titles at the top and have these as different categories, all we have to do is click on this pencil icon and then we can go in and change the name. So let's say instead of real estate, I'm running an agency or something like this. We can say something like new lead for this section, then go to the next section and call this discovery call booked. Then we can say closing call booked, then deal closed, onboarding call, and so on and so forth. And then let's say I want to delete these last 2 stages. I can just go down here and delete them right here. We can also change the probability of a deal closing. So for new leads, I might say 10%. Then once they've booked a discovery call, this goes up to 30%. Closing call booked, then goes up to 70%. Deal closed is obviously 100. And then probability for an onboarding call is 100 as well. I can then save these changes. And then once again, this potential deal is going to show up. I can move these along all of these different categories as this changes, and then add new deals in up here. We can also change the view of this, so we can make this into a list where we can see the title of the company, the value, organization, contact person, and all of this right here. And then we can also go into deals, which is going to show us a monthly overview. You can also create different deals boards. So if we go into here, we can actually create a new pipeline, and then we can go ahead and create an entire new section. So let's actually call this one like agency, for example. And then we can save changes. And then right here, we can change back between the agency and the real estate board at any time. Let's then go into projects, and project is an additional add-on. We can claim a free trial for this, but then it's $8 or this is £8, probably closer to $10 per month. So let's go in here and create this first project board. So let's just use the default name. What we can also do is use stage names from existing pipelines. And if I click down here, we have the real estate and agency deal boards that I just created. I'm just going to go for default names, and then we can go through here, and just like that, we are now taken over to this project section. So effectively, the easiest way that I like to see this is the deal section is going to be where we have this Kanban chart, which shows us before the deal is closed. And then this project section is going to show us what we are planning after the deal is closed. So for example, this onboarding call would not be a good idea to have in deals. Instead, we would want this onboarding call to be in projects. And once again, this works in a very, very similar way to deals, where we can go up to edit board, change the name of all of these sections right here. So we have kickoff, then let's have a strategy session, then implementation review, and then leave all these as they are. We can then save changes. And once again, we can go up and add new projects, enter in the title of the project, the start and end date, the phase where this is going to kick off, any deals, the contact person, the organization. So let's just call this Instagram client. We can then hit save. And just like that, this is going to pop in where we can use this Kanban chart to plan out this client project. So that is projects. And then on the left-hand side, we also have tasks. And this is where you can set up specific tasks for your team. So let's go into task up here. And let's say that we want either ourselves or one of our team members to create 10 Instagram posts for pet store client. We can then choose who this is assigned to. Right now, I'm the only team member in here. Once again, I will show you how to add other team members. We can then set the due date. So let's say this is due by Friday. Then the project. So if you remember up here, we just created a project, which was the Instagram client. That's going to show up right there when we type this in. Then we can go on the different phases right here. So let's say implementation, because we are actually creating the posts. We can also add a group right here and add a description of the task. So I'm just going to say create 10 Instagram carousel posts for our pet shop client to post on their page. We can then go ahead and save this. And this is now going to show up in the tasks. If we go back to projects and click on the Instagram client, we can see under implementation, this is going to show up on the plan. And then once the task is done, we can check this off, and that is going to be removed. I've also forgot to mention in projects, we can click into each individual project right here and get a more in-depth view. So we can see the plan right here. We can then go over to files and upload any files that we need. We can once again add notes in here, create emails, and then add any documents. Next, let's go down to campaigns on this left-hand side. And in campaigns, this is where we can set up and send different email marketing campaigns. Once again, this is free during the trial that you will have claimed earlier. However, later on, we are going to need to pay for this, and we can see the pricing right here. But let's go in and click Get Started for free. Then we can confirm and start this. In here, it's going to ask us to set up these two things before we go ahead and send emails. So we just need to enable 2FA, super easy, add sender info, So we just click add sender, enter in a sender email, which is super important. And if I just go ahead and show you, if I add a Gmail domain into here, it says this seems to be a public domain. And we actually need to add a company domain, a real professional email into this right here. So we can do this right here. And then once again, we can add a reply to email and click continue. Once all of that has been set up, we can then go ahead and create a new email campaign. So let's just call this test. Then we can choose the recipient that we want to send this to, who this is coming from. Then under subject, once again, we can create a subject right here and also add preview text for the email. Under email content, we can then go down and either create new, edit any designs we have previously saved as a template. Right now, obviously, we don't have any. And then we can also use HTML editor. So for the first email, we can go create new. And then right here, we have a few different templates. So we have either simple, which is just going to be text. We also have like meditation apps, blogs, ebooks, all of these different pre-built templates that are specific for your company. So let's just go in here and I will choose, let's go for the real estate one. So let's just go into preview and then you can see a preview of this email right here. See if this fits your brand, see if this is what you want to use as a template. If not, if you can't find any, then you can start from blank. But I'm just going to go down and choose the real estate one. Once this loads up, it's then going to take us over to this drag and drop editor. And this is super simple. So first of all, we have these different rows and you can see each row when you hover over it, that is highlighted by this kind of pinkish purple box. All we have to do to edit the different things on here is click into the text, for example, and then we can go ahead and change this. So I might want to say GeForce North, and then in here, I will say finding your perfect home. We can also change images. For example, this one right here is like a background image for the row. So we can just click into this image. And then over here on the right-hand side, this is where we can make the change. So we can see row background image right here. And right now, this is a URL. Now, usually when uploading images to any website or email, this isn't going to come from a URL, and instead it's going to be an image that you upload from your PC. So all we have to do is delete this current URL right here, then click on choose image at the top, and we can go ahead and upload image files. So I can maybe go ahead and upload this image right here, then we can click use image, and that image is now going to be replaced. The same for these images down here, we can click in, either delete the URL or just click on change image. And then let's go ahead and upload this image right here. We can see that is going to change to that image. Then it's just a case of going through the rest of the email, editing any text that you need to in here. If we want to add links, for example, under more information, we would obviously want this to be clickable. So all we have to do is click on the text, and then we have a link button right here. So we can go in, enter in the URL where we want people to be directed to. And then when people click on this text right here, they will be taken over to that link. If you want to add in different content to this website, you can do so using this section on the left-hand side. For example, if I want to add in a video, all I do is grab the video from this left-hand side, drag it where I want to add it in, and then it's going to show up right here. If you also want to delete sections, we just click on the element or the section, click on this trash can icon, and that is going to be deleted. Once you are happy with how your email looks, we can then click save and close. That email is going to be created. Obviously, if I was creating this for real, I would listen to what this says, go back and add links to my social media icons and all of this. But once I'm happy, I can go ahead and click send, and that is going to send that email. We then have the sales inbox, which is this section right here. I've already showed you this, and this is where you can access, reply, and send emails from inside of Pipedrive. We then have activities, and this is where you can sync up your calendar, and you can basically view everything right here on your calendar. So anything that we have, let's add an activity into here, and let's say this is a team call. We can then set when this is. So let's say this is on a Friday. We will then set this to meeting, as this is a team call. So we can choose between call, meeting, task, deadline, email, and lunch. Then we can also add guests, location, video call, and description. So I can click on video call right here, and then add this as a Zoom meeting, connect up Zoom right here. And then of course, people will be able to come here, click in, and be taken straight to the Zoom call. Once you have set all of this up, we can then click on save. And just like that on the calendar, this is now going to be added on Friday the 16th. Now the reason it's just on Friday is because I didn't set a specific time, but you can move things around on here by simply clicking and dragging, and that's going to change the time, and we can even change the date by doing this. Super easy to drag things around and set things up on this calendar. Going down to contacts, this is just going to show us all of the contacts that we currently have. We can once again click in and start editing all of these right here, just like we could in this lead section. Organizations is going to show us all of the organizations and people connected to that organization. And then we also have a contacts timeline, which is going to show us important information about when we contacted this lead. So right here, we can see all of this is today because I set this up, but you will be able to see how many times you emailed and called this lead in December, in January, and this is going to show up for all of these leads. Next, we can go down to Insight, and this is a crazy menu that is going to show us a lot of information about the company. So we can see leads created by user. So right now we have Riley, which is me. I've obviously created one lead, but all of your team members will show up right here, and they will show how many leads each of them have created. We then have all of these different menus that I'm not going to explain in detail because we can really customize this in any way we like. First of all, we can move around these sections to different areas so that we can have the most important things at the top or really wherever you like. We can also take a much deeper dive into each of these by clicking into this pencil icon, and this is going to open that dashboard full screen so that we can get a much deeper dive into this. You can also access any of these reports by going over here on the left-hand side. So once again, you can access these reports by clicking in here or simply selecting this on the left-hand side. You can also add new reports to this dashboard by clicking on this plus icon on the left-hand side, then going to report. And then let's add in activities performance, for example. So all we have to do is click on save and then save. And just like that, this new report is going to be added to this dashboard. Under products, this is where you can set up any products that you have. So we can add a new product here. And let's just say this is a mentorship program. We can then add a product code. So I'll just call this mentor. We can then select and create a category. Completely up to you if you want to add this. Then unit price, we can say this is worth $10,000. Whoopsie. We just need to put 10,000 in here and then set this to the dollar, just like that. And then we can also add tax or anything. Once we click save, that is going to be added in right there. And this just gives your team a better overview of all of the products that you are selling and helps people stay up to date. Then under Marketplace, this is where we can link up and add in a lot of integrations into Pipedrive. So you can search for any other tools that you are using that you potentially want to integrate with Pipedrive. For example, one of my favorite email marketing tools is MailerLite. So we can click into this, go ahead and authorize, and then we can link this up so that we can use this with Pipedrive. Most of the major applications are going to show up right here. However, it's always a good idea to search for it just to see if this is even accepted by Pipedrive. Now, the final section of the video is just going to be going over some of the account preferences right here, how to add new team members and things like this. So first of all, we can go into personal preferences. This is where you can just mess around with the default currency. So for example, I might want to change this to the US dollar, just like that. We can then change the name. You can choose a profile picture, set up the interface. And once you're happy with all of this, click save. Then down here on the left-hand side, we can go into like password and login if you want to change this. Email sync, we've already done this. But manage users, this is where we can go ahead and add new users to your Pipedrive account. So all we would have to do is click on add user, and then enter in the email address or email addresses that we want to add in here. So for example, if I wanted to add a team member and this was his email, we can go preview. We can then choose what kind of users there are and what permissions they have. So for deals, we can have like a deal regular user, an admin, or keep current value. And we can just go down and change this permissions. Let's just say this guy is an admin for everything. Once you have set this up, we can click invite user. And then this user is simply going to get an email saying they have been invited. They can click the link, sign up, and then they will be automatically added to your Pipedrive. So there are the main important settings. We can also go into things like notifications, play around with these, see what notifications you get. But that is effectively a crash course in how you can use Pipedrive. So that is my complete step-by-step tutorial of Pipedrive. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.